History of the World Part 2. A sketch comedy sequel that, well, somebody must have been asking for it. I hesitate to say nobody, but I also hesitate to say everybody. Not because it's a bad movie or anything, but like, you know, History of the World Part 1 was such a long time ago, I'm surprised anybody remembers it outside of diehards and what have you. Honestly, I love Mel Brooks movies. I love Blazing Saddles. I love Spaceballs. I love Dracula Dead and Loving It. I think that was one of his. History of the World Part 1? I don't hate it, but honestly, it's not really there in my top 5 if I'm being 100% honest, but it's still good in its own way. It's basically just a sketch comedy kind of thing. Just, it is what it is. I never thought we were going to get a sequel to History of the World Part 1, because I kind of thought the whole Part 2 thing was the joke, you know? Like, we're never going to get it. It's kind of like the ending to Kung Pao Enter the Fist. They give you a preview for a sequel that's clearly never going to happen, despite the fact that What's-His-Face keeps saying he's going to make the sequel, but it never happens. Lo and behold, however, for a sequel was made, and it found its way onto Hulu. I mean, seriously, I can't remember the last time I actually watched something on Hulu that wasn't Letterkenny or King of the Hill reruns. I'm genuinely amazed that there's, like, anything on Hulu worth watching anymore. But whatever, you're not here to hear me slam dunk on Hulu. You're here to see what I thought of History of the World Part 2, because it's a review show, and that's what I do. And what did I think of it? Well, I actually liked it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was gonna like it, that's for sure. Let's be real, making sequels to movies from like 30, 40 years into the past is kind of a thing right now, you know, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Top Gun Maverick, Bill and Ted's third movie that was totally necessary and needed to happen, except I don't think it really did, honestly. These are things we are seeing a lot of, and a lot of them generally make the hardcore fans happy at best, but a lot of the normies like me generally don't care for them, just meh. And I was afraid that was kind of the case with History of the World Part 2, but then my wife and I actually started watching it, and I was very pleasantly surprised. It's kind of hard to review a sketch comedy because sketch comedies are basically just chaos. You never really know what you're going to get, but there's a safe bet that some sketches are definitely going to be better than others. And if you're lucky, you get mostly gold with maybe like 1 or 2 forgettable sketches like Monty Python. Or you end up with something like Movie 43 where everything is garbage. History of the World Part 2 does have a lot of great sketches, my personal favorite being the parody of Rasputin, the parody of Noah's Ark, the parody of Galileo, at least towards the beginning anyway. It kind of leads me to my next point that History of the World Part 2, if it has one problem going against it, it's not necessarily that it's a sequel to a movie 40 years later. It's not even the fact that it has Wanda Sykes and Nick Kroll in the cast either. Really, the only problem I have with History of the World Part 2 is some of the sketches kind of wear out their welcome. Case in point, one of the recurring sketches throughout the series is about Wanda Sykes portraying the first black woman who ran for president in 1972, done in the style of a 70s sitcom. It was funny the first time I saw it, but as it progressed from episode to episode, it kind of wore out its welcome. The same could be said for the parody of Jesus Christ and his disciples going on their last sermon, where it kind of looked like the Beatles. Like, it was funny the first time you saw it, but by the time it appeared on like the 3rd time in a row, it was kind of like, okay, I think the horse might be dead here, guys. I think you've done everything you can with this. Other than that, though, I'd say the ratio of funny sketches to not funny sketches rules definitely in favor of the funny sketches. I laughed at a lot of the stuff that was on this. I thought, even when it wasn't especially laugh-out-loud hilarious, I could agree that some of the ideas were genuinely amusing concepts, like Galileo doing cameos, or Anastasia being a Twitch streamer, just kind of stuff like that. I don't know, maybe I'm just so starved for a laugh after my brother-in-law subjected us to The Last of Us that maybe I just needed something to make me laugh. I don't know. All I know for sure is I'm giving History of the World Part 2 3 hats out of 4.